Hey, City Pigeons, episode 71. Gentlemen, what is up, dude? What's up?
Yo, good to see you guys.
Tommy,
usually it's just me and Tom in here.
Yeah,
Now all you guys are here.
We're back up in the coop, ladies and gentlemen.
It's fun to have everybody.
Yeah.
I'm back.
If you're watching, thank you so much for joining us. Please tell your friends, family to join in. We got a couple of the other characters with us in various forms. Let's head over to the Fink tank. We got Fink back in the house. There he is.
My man.
Finkster, what up, buddy?
Good to see you guys.
How you doing?
Yo, how'd Judge do tonight, dude?
What?
Judge?
Oh, cut out, huh? Lost by 8.
Is the game already over?
Yeah, they lost by 8.
Roman beat
now
him?
my alma mater's up, but I don't give a shit about them whether they win or lose.
Oh, yeah. I don't
We're
have any dog in this race. All right. We also got our boy Rocky B-Ball checking in pre-basketball.
What's up, Rock? Yo,
Whoa.
don't show your nuts like Leon Black from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That was a good episode. That was funny as hell. But no, I'm just sitting up here stretching, man. I'm getting ready, Got my Red Bull. I'm getting ready for my game.
He's drinking a Red Bull before the basketball game. Rock is joining us in front of the Kaiserman JCC Step and Repeat.
Yeah.
What
Yes,
they
sir.
must use for all those events. It almost looks like you're doing a press availability before the game. So
He's going to have a sugar crash in the third quarter.
Well, there's only two halves, so I don't have to worry about that.
Rock, do they ever
Are you-
ask you real quick? Do they ever reference the league that was at the JCC? They got shut down.
No, I don't think so. I haven't heard any stories about that.
that sounds juicy. It sounds like people
For the
never speak of
gambling.
that.
Oh, it was
You mean
pretty
you don't
bad.
hang after the game and tell old stories of JCC lore?
Nah.
Fire?
No,
Nah.
it was bad, though. The refs were involved in gambling with some of the players, and they were.
Wait, what?
Listen, I have to interrupt again because I've warned you guys of this before. You cannot start the podcast with 3 minutes about Rock's men's basketball league. Like no one gives a crap. Okay, so let's not even
You're
get
the
into
one who
that.
cut to him right away. I'm not the director.
Let's not get into
Seriously.
that.
Had my nuts out and everything.
It happened again. It happens every year. This was a week or two ago. I think we had the rare 50-degree day in February. Okay, do you guys remember this day a couple weeks ago where you stepped outside and you went, "Oh, look at this! We can do things like normal people outside." You know what I'm talking about, Fink? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Treat.
Yes. When the sun's out. And
You do
it's all
remember.
Nice and warm.
You do remember.
Beautiful. It's the only
Beautiful. Well,
happiness I have in my life anymore.
Guys, next week's supposed to be 60 degrees all week.
Is
Knock
it?
off. Yeah.
is it for
All
real?
week.
I'm going to Florida in 2 weeks. I can't wait.
Listen, I didn't realize that
Wait.
there was an actual official term for this called the fool's spring, and that's part of the cycle, right? Where you think it's spring and then the next day it turns out to be 30 degrees again. And that's exactly what happened. But during that moment, I started to let myself believe that it was spring again. And I could feel the start of the Phillies. I think the pitchers and catchers were reporting right around that time. I went out back, had a baseball catch with the kid. And I started to really let myself I wanted that change because winter's been tough. We've had some tough moments. Can we all agree there?
It's been
No.
It's been an underwhelming winter.
very,
So-
very underwhelming.
I let
Jojo
myself
going
start
down.
to think about all these things. And it's funny. I was thinking about, you see people in these situations, like when you're driving down Kelly Drive, you always see the guy that's running with his shirt off. You know what I mean? Or you see the ladies that are, early on, they're going to the tank tops, which is less of a problem for us, obviously, than the guy running with his shirt off. But people have this tendency to jump the gun. And it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice to start to envision what it was going to be like. When the Phils get
that
started.
was all predicted by the groundhog this year.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he did predict 2 early weeks, whatever the fuck that is. But it always fools you. There's a couple good days where maybe it's on a weekend where all your buddies call you to go golfing, and then on the Tuesday it's 32 degrees again, and there's frost when you get out to your car.
Right, and that's the worst part, by the way, on that day when everybody was golfing, because you've never seen so many people at a golf course in your life. You show up and there's carts, and you're like, why the hell am I doing this? But it's the only day you can do it, so you do it anyway.
If the sun's out, what temperature do you guys go golfing?
So we kind of have a rule. Rock can chime in on this, and Rock, we can hear you even if we can't see you, bud. So feel free to start talking.
My bad. Yeah, 50 degrees. 50 degrees with a little bit of wind. 40 40 degrees, I'm out.
Yeah, anything in the 40s without a lot of wind and sun is cool. But
Yeah.
once in that wind in the 40s, you can.
It's a wrap.
There are guys though that I know around here that play golf every weekend if there's not like snow or ice on the ground, which is pretty crazy. But it got me thinking about the Phils as they started to report. The Phils have not done a ton in the offseason, right? But they did make a move recently with our man Witt. And I thought, Meech, you would start us off by telling us a little bit about this guy. I mean, we've heard about him. Utility guy, all-star.
He led the league in hits before. He's
solid.
He's a utility guy. He doesn't play as much infield as like his reputation leads him to believe he plays.
Right.
But he'll fill in at second base. He'll fill in at center field when Rojas falters or if he can't. He's a solid player.
By the way, I saw you criticizing Rojas's bunting form today.
It was
online.
horrible. You know, when I was a little league guy, I was a big bunter because I didn't have the. I was
the
like
big bunter. They called him the big bunter.
I mean that was like not the big.
Oh no!
bunter,
Here comes
but
the big bunter.
I told the story on here before. I made the All-Star game, and my head coach was the All-Star game, and I came in with the bases loaded, and he gave me the bunt sign. It was I was really good at it, and I got a bunt signal,
Right.
but you can't put your hand all the way up on the
Right.
barrel
Yeah.
to bunt. It's not conducive. And in spring training, when you got some coach throwing you 50-mile-an-hour pebbles, you can do that. But
Right.
when you got Spencer Strider throwing you 101 mile an hour off the and it hits your middle finger, it's going to be broken and you're going to be out for a couple months. It was just bad form.
It's funny. Baseball players not being able to bunt reminds me of like when
shouldn't be able
when
to bunt.
quarterbacks can't slide.
MLB
It's like, what are we
players
talking
shouldn't bunt.
They should
long
be
as-
able to.
No, but as long as the pitcher it doesn't come up to bat anymore, no MLB player should bunt. You should be able to put the ball in play and do whatever it is that a bunt
Fink.
can do.
So
it's an automatic out.
So what
it's
if
a bad
you have
play.
a runner on second in the extra innings with 0 outs? You don't want to bunt the guy over a third to
No,
try
I-
to get the run?
No, I want to hit the ball to the right side of the infield, and even if I get out, he
Score.
still advances. It's how you bat. It's all. It has nothing to do with bunting. You can positionally hit without bunting in the major
All right.
leagues if you're a good hitter.
So that's enough on bunt. You got more on bunting?
No, on the free agent thing, because we always overlook it. Re-signing Nola is kind of a free agent deal. You brought him back.
Well-
You would have lost him. You would have had to fill that spot in.
Historically,
We would
Meech-
have had to fill in a spot for a guy
Oh, here we
who
go.
lost the biggest games of the season 2 years in a row and always folds in the bit. Like I could have found a replica for that anywhere for
Who?
less money.
Who?
Somebody who fucks up every time you ask them to, you can find them anywhere.
Meech,
They're all over.
I thought you had buried the hatchet with Nola after last year.
Yeah, that's what I recollect. I mean, I
Yeah.
asked him about
He
it
let you
late
down?
last
But then
season.
you remember what happened. Him and Ranger Suarez shit the bed against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I can't forgive that.
Yep.
We were there.
Well-
Meech is a liar.
Let's get into the real important things that happen here, because as soon as Witt, it's Merrifield, right? I want to get this right.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange name to me. Witt
Mary
Merrifield.
Wittenfield.
Witt Merrifield. You know, it feels like a character from a holiday movie or something, right?
It's a bad name.
Okay, but his name is Witt, which in Philadelphia obviously triggered lots of fun wordplay. And I brought this to Meech and I said, Meech, I've seen there was like the people who started with the Witt stuff, and then the people who followed along were like, all right, you got to be kidding me with this Witt stuff. And I came to Meech, I'd be like, you had to thought this was the cheesiest thing in the world. Little did I know, he pretty much started the whole thing with a viral tweet about Witt. Go ahead. Why don't you tell the people?
I just said as soon as after he got signed, I knew it was going to be a thing. So you had to come up with
he was right on it.
some original angle for it. Otherwise, if you just write "Whiz Wit," LOL, like there's nothing creative about this. So I said when he's in the lineup, it's Whiz Wit, and when he's not in the lineup, it's Whiz Wit out. And it got a lot of I don't get many RTs and faves anymore.
That means
Like,
retweet.
That one was pretty big on Twitter.
He always says
Look at
that.
that. You were out in
somehow-
front again. You're always out in front with the Philly stuff, man. I got to give you credit. I just want to remind everybody, by the way, with the Phillies starting back up, spring training is here. We do have a good amount of stock.
Do you want the future closers a signature T-shirt?
Yes.
Come our way.
We don't.
He's going to be lights out this
Yeah.
year. Like the pitching ninja is
Hold on,
already
you're
doing
not even telling
overlays
them-
of his spring training shit. Sorry, go
You're
ahead.
not even telling them what we're talking about. So some of you guys know we are the creators of the Schwarby shirt, the original. Often duplicated, never replicated, something like that.
Cub Designs are talking. to you.
Anyway, you can still get the original Schwarby
Oscar-nominated
shirt.
Schwarby shirt.
You can still get the original Schwarby shirt on citypigeons.com, citypigeonspod.com, excuse me. But we also are the originators of the only, as far as I know, Orion Kirkring shirt with the star constellation and all sorts of great things.
Another Meech production.
Another Meech production, which is available, citypigeonspod.com. And there's been a lot of clips of our boy Charlie Manuel down
love
at
to
camp,
see
which
him
is great
back.
to see.
Golly.
Charlie in great
listen,
health.
I want to give a shout out to my guy Todd Zalecki. He has a great on his Phillies blog. He has a great article on how Charlie started to regain his speech. He couldn't talk. He couldn't speak anymore. And the way he got it back was talking baseball with people. It's an incredible story, and I wish more people would read it and see. I got a RT. I'll RT it on my Twitter, but
Can you stop saying RT? Like, I'm sick. Do not say RT. Nobody says RT. Let me RT that.
let me RX it.
Retweet.
RX.
Let me re-X it. Is that what you want me to say?
Yeah.
If you want me to be technical?
Tell him you'll tweet it.
Here's what I think we need to do, and I'm just too lazy to do it. I've been thinking about this. We're going to need a spring training sale on this gear. So we got to figure out how much, maybe like 2% off. Does that sound good to you?
You got to give people more than 2. At least if you're not going to give any percent off,
3.5.
free shipping.
No, I'm just kidding. 10, 15, 20, who knows? We got to figure it out. We got to move some product, people. And hey, let's hope Orion starts out hot because these items are going to be moving.
Yeah, I got a feeling Orion's going to have a big
Can you
year.
tell me more about the pitching ninja was saying?
The
He's
pitching
got,
ninja?
if you check his
Pitching?
Twitter, go to Pitching Ninja Twitter. He's got an overlay already of Keckering's spring training stuff. His 2 of his pitches, which are the same, and they
the
funnel
way they
each
move.
other. They end up in the same spot, but they come from completely different places. It's beautiful.
Bonkers.
It's beautiful.
Wait,
right?
for-
And if you want to be, go ahead, Rock.
I'm trying to figure out what the pitching ninja is.
I think it's a handle.
Twitter handle, Rob Freeman or something. It's a dude.
It's not in your wheelhouse.
but
It's,
his
it's
name's
online.
yeah. You don't even
Got
know.
it.
Two-seam slider.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Can you upload that to StreamYard by any
We'll
chance?
find a way.
You know,
We'll do
I don't think
something.
we can do that as
You
quickly
don't
as
know
we'd
that.
like. But yeah, like if you're seeing this stuff, he's looking good.
What's it at Pitching Ninja? Go to that
Yeah.
if you're watching this, and
You
look
want to
at
go
Keckering shit.
to the first game with the shirt on because then you're out in front, like Meech was with the
I
Wiz
still
Wit.
don't have the shirt.
Well, that's we can't be comping anymore, man. We comp too many, so we reached the limit. Okay, but spring
talk
training's
that.
fired up. You know, for me, and I want to get to everybody's taking the fills, but spring is a great time of year because we're coming out of the winter, and I started thinking about like I asked you guys to think a little bit about like your favorite things about spring. I can tell you what mine is right now because my son is 11. We're right in the heart of like the remaining little league days, and like soon it's going to be gone. We may have won the championship last year. I may have been the coach of the team, whether that was a direct, impact on that or sole responsible. I mean, he did some good work too. But the bottom line is this: I'm feeling ready to
That
go.
was
I
last
can't
year.
wait.
That was
Like,
last
I
year.
gotta be honest with you guys. I feel more like free when I'm coaching little league.
That's
I'm not.
awesome.
I'm not thinking about anything else. So I'm ready to get back out there. We're going for back to back this year, baby.
Best.
Back to back. That's what I'm fired up about. What are you guys looking forward to as spring comes? And by the way, that's not going to happen for another couple weeks. The
Jesse,
weather's shitty.
before I say what I'm fired up about, I'd like to say that I wish my kids' coaches were more like that and more enthusiastic.
Really?
I hate
That's why I coach.
I hate going into
We talked about
to
this.
kids' baseball season. It's very boring to me.
Hmm.
A couple of my kids just stopped playing baseball, and they got back up when you were able to, when they're CYO, 12, 13 years old.
Right.
But they just fell out of love with it. It
Hmm.
was very boring to them, and I think if they had a more enthusiastic coach and team, so I say good job with that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I've seen Coach Jess in action down there at the field, yelling at the kids, telling them you got to make that throw.
That's
He's
what you
really
need.
passionate about it. No, he's passionate about it. I've seen him doing it, and
Really
I
good
may have seen
youth baseball team.
I may have seen a kid cry out there. But you know what? In the end, all that hard, tough love, they won the championship. So
It's actually funny because
Well, I mean, my
Should've
youth
caught
coach
the
was
ball.
an alcoholic firefighter. Rest in peace, Paul Green.
We all have those.
He was a great dude, but he used to scream at us. He used to belittle us, but it made us better people. And some of his biggest things were don't compound your mistakes. If you make an error in the field, don't throw the ball. Like, you just remember things that he yelled and instilled in you as a kid.
Now you take that,
and those are the good
stuff.
Those are the good coaches that you remember.
So it's actually funny because what Rock's alluding to is he started playing ball down at our rec center in East Falls, McDevitt Rec, which is where I grew up playing. And I got my team down there practicing. I'm literally coaching the kids as like him and all my boys show up to play ball. So they're all watching me and heckling me. But I enjoy it, man. It's a good time. So for me, that's what I look forward to.
I got a question before we move on. I'll tell you that in a second. But how do you handle having your kid on the team and being the head coach? I know you're showing a little bit of favoritism. How do you handle that?
I'm showing a little bit of favoritism, huh? Well,
I'm sure you
sometimes
are.
It's
if Goodheart was here, he would tell you not to answer this question, Jesse.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a bit of a good and a bad thing. Like when I go into the draft, he's immediately my first round pick. Like, so I get him, which is good, but I also don't have a first round pick. But he's a good.
That's the deal.
I don't have a problem with him because he's a great player. He's my leadoff guy. He has been up to this point. He does what he needs to do. He's a great teammate. I don't have to show any favoritism to him. Luckily, it would be an interesting situation if he was kind of in that zone where he's not as good as, I wanted him to be or whatever. But he does his thing. He's good, man. I don't have to worry about that.
I figured if somebody else drafted him in like the 4th round, there'd be some tension at home. That's not a cool thing. Yeah. They shouldn't even put you in that position. Like just automatically place the kid on the father's team.
They do that, and then based on how they rank in the assessments, they put him in.
That's fair.
He could.
They shouldn't put you in that position where you have to. So Dean would
have been a first-round pick if he went to the draft. So since he's not in the draft, then Jesse just doesn't have a first-round pick.
Exactly. So that's how it works. But anyway, I'm sure this is like the talking about Rock's B-ball league. It's enough on Little League. But can I please hear from some people about your favorite thing about spring?
What I look forward to in spring is watching those first couple spring training games on an afternoon, and the crack of the bat on homer of it just sounds so great. It like baseball's such a pure sport. It means it's back. It just all I'm asking for is that the sound of the home run from the crack of the bat in a spring training afternoon game. That's all I ask for.
I guess you're right, because in those games particularly, it's so quiet.
It's so quiet
that you can absolutely hear it like perfect. It's a pure sound.
And you could just keep on YouTube, just keep rewinding it 10 seconds here.
You know what?
Over.
Because the acoustics in those minor league parks are
kind of related.
Have
you guys been seeing these clips? I know like Alex Coffey posted some of these where it's like it was Zach Wheeler versus Bryce Harper and it was just the pitcher and the batter doing the at-bats. Did you guys see any of this?
Yeah. Nola versus JT today.
Right, which is like I had to stop in my tracks and watch this. But the problem is they're shooting it at that angle that you can't really tell what's going on.
Right, you don't know if it's a ball.
Can I get I want like really good footage of this. I want to see
you want the reporter to stand unpadded behind
I want the plate. The Phillies. I want the Phillies to give us better footage.
How do they not have better footage?
They don't want to do that. But it's amazing just to see those guys going up against each other. I absolutely love that. All right, is anybody else? And these are the deep topics I come up with. What's your favorite thing about spring? Okay,
I'm also
to challenge you.
I'm looking forward to the crack of that driver. You know what I mean? It's your springtime. Yeah, got the Masters coming up soon. It's the golf season. It's full golf season right now. It's nothing better in the summer, including the Phillies. I don't care what anybody says.
Related note, Rock. That's a great topic because we all start to get into spring golf, and for me, I'm always like trying to put in some type of work over the winter to make myself think I'm going to come out and play good golf. But I'll tell you one thing that every golfer looks forward to. I think you can relate to this, Rock. It's usually that first, second, or third round when you go out and you play, and you have nothing is held over from
you got nothing in your head. You got nothing in there.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you play really well. And you're like, I'm back, baby. This is my year. And it just turns out you haven't had enough time to think about all the things that are going to get messed up in your head to get you back to actually sucking. Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm right there right now. I'll tell you a little story. A couple of weeks ago, I went to go get fitted for some new irons, right? I get there and the guy's like, look, the irons you got are good. What you really need is some lessons. He's like, he's like, what you need is some. No. He's like, what you need is some lessons. So he gives me like 2 quick tips, and like these 2 quick tips completely like change the trajectory of my shot, the way it's headed. I go out and play not too long after that, and I'm hitting the ball like crazy. I'm like hitting it straight, I'm hitting it long, and it's just like, I think I got it figured out. But of course, in a month or so, once we really get into it, I'll be back in the trees, back in the sand, back in the water. But that's how it is, man. That's part of the game. It's all part of the fun.
Yeah. I love getting back into that. Let's get out there, buddy. All right.
Yeah,
next day that it's looking good. Let's get out there. Although my buddies, if they ask me to do something, it's always like, yo, can you do something in like 3 hours? Like, no, I can't do that. Right. I gotta schedule that in a week ahead of time minimum. All right. I want to give a shout out to Trevor Moran, our boy, Tall Teeth, in the chat. He's always there for us. Trevor this week just got some of you guys may know Trevor's a character here as part of the crew. Well, he's part of the show.
Ombudsman.
But he's been my boy for years and years and years, and he happens to be a very talented photographer who used to travel the world full time to shoot professional surfing, which is outrageous. He's become friends with the best surfers in the world. And a young woman by the name of Carissa Moore just retired from pro surfing, and she put out a book, and Trevor's photo is on the cover of that book. It's tremendous. He posted about it on Instagram. So congrats to Trev. And Trev, we'll see you back here in the coop ASAP, buddy.
Congrats, Steve.
He said, Rocky at the podium, love it, need more of it. And I got to be honest with you, shout out to Rock, because before he was like sitting on the bleachers and was all loud with the balls. He went and found a proper place to do this interview.
With a backdrop and a place to show his nutsack.
Yeah, wait. Can you guys always see me? Like, am I always on the screen right now? Because I am in some pretty weird. Okay, all right, cool. It's good to know.
And we get to choose when to put you
We can
on.
always see over here in a little box. So,
okay.
I'll give you a tutorial on how this works, buddy. But for now, you just keep showing up in front of those step and repeats. And that's all we need from me. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Fink, is there anything? You're a big weather guy. And some might notice that I used your silent protest against winter outfit for the cover of the YouTube thumbnail, which I thought was appropriate because you kind of looked like the kind of guy who would have fallen for the Fool's Spring. Does that make sense to you?
And then he wore a waffle shirt with an undershirt.
Yeah, that undershirt is a silent protest against breathing, man. Let that thing
really
live.
Simple. I don't cute moments where, like, sentimental moments, like you guys love spring. What?
There you go.
Hello.
You don't like the Biz Markie song?
So
it's spring.
I just need the sun and it to be 55. That's all I need.
That's what you want, 55.
That's all I look forward to.
I mean, that's a lot to ask.
The winter
That's
is
really
so
not much to ask.
It's depressing. I hate it. I need warmth. I'm not looking.
You say it's what? It's depressing?
Depressing. Depressing.
Is it not, Rock? Are you laughing at my mental health problems?
No, I'm laughing at your pronunciation.
Pronounced depressing.
Yeah, I said it.
Depressing.
Listen, I'll tell you
like
this.
Robitussin.
Think that reminds me that week that I fell victim to the Fool's Spring, I think the high was going to be 53 maybe. And my daughter was having a panic attack about whether she should wear shorts or not. It's amazing. The kids cannot wait to wear shorts. It's like the greatest thing in the world. I'm like, I don't know. Right now, it's probably 35 degrees when you're walking out of the house. You really want to wear shorts. Now, I know you guys up in your neck of the woods, they're wearing shorts, the whole time.
30 degrees out.
Rock, you can't see these comments, can you?
I can.
Oh, you can. You can see Trevor's comment?
Yeah.
Says Rock looking like Maxie in that Cure Auto commercial.
I hate those. I hate all those Cure Auto commercials. They're so...
Yo, who's got an Archbishop Ryan score? Anybody?
Yeah, 45 to who gives a F?
Mark was supposed to
Who
be.
gives a F? Beautiful. All right. Now,
Oh, hold on. You want to see?
what are you doing, bud?
You want to see the
Oh yeah,
Philly
let's do it.
TP
Let's do
cap?
it. In addition to your Phillies hat that you're wearing right now, which is a nice item.
Yeah, it's my new retro crown wool Phillies cap. I was actually looking for they have a maroon Phillies retro crown hat on New Era, which sold out right away. So I kept checking back for it, and then I found this, which is the same style, and I really like this cap. And then the other day I saw that they restocked the other one, so I got that too.
Boom.
And then I got this. I haven't bought a hat in like 10 years now. I got like fucking 5 in 3 days. Anyway, I went to Rally House.
Get Rally House.
No,
out of here.
Rally House.
Rally House, which is better than Fanatics. Call Rally House.
Fanatics
We
is
won't
getting
fuck up your
hammered
order.
for those
Call
baseball
Rally
jerseys.
We
House.
didn't make those jerseys everybody hates. All right.
I got.
Oh, I need that.
Did you get us one?
They're sold out most places. Yo, I sent it to the fucking text group. You could have fucking
When?
When? I didn't get that text because I would have said grab me one.
City Pigeons, the other one. So, sorry, but I went to. I got the new BP cap. So I ordered it online, and they were like, I said, I want to come in and pick it up at Cherry Hill. I figured I'd stop and get it on the way here. So I went to Cherry Hill to grab it, and the girl goes, "Did you order it online?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Did you get the email that it was ready?" I go, "No." She goes, "Well, it's not ready." I go, "Well, you don't think I'm going to leave here without getting my cap, right?" Like there's nobody. It was her and another worker and just me inside this store. I go, "So what do you want me to leave so you can pretend
Go
to
do whatever."
I go, "You go get my cap and then find the fulfillment thing and." Because she goes, "I need your barcode from the email that says." I go, "Well, listen, I don't have this barcode, and I'm not leaving here without the hat." I go, I'll go grab it and walk out.
So how did that strategy
Did
work?
you threaten?
I got it.
Did you threaten
Got
these
it.
workers? Are
Beautiful.
they okay?
I pretty much
Sir,
We need our attorney.
I
Where's
am not
Goodheart?
leaving
Damn
this
it.
building.
all right.
it was ridiculous the way she said, like, "Oh, well, you didn't get your email." I ordered it like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Dude.
It's 5 o'clock. Just give me my cap.
Honestly, I've been tripping out this whole episode. Like, where are these whistles coming from? And I realize it's Rodg's basketball league in the background.
So great.
Thank you.
Yeah, baby. I'm
And
getting ready.
back me up.
I'm getting ready.
Them games.
All right. So
All right, I'm switching
you're gonna
back
switch
to
back?
Yeah.
That's okay.
this-
Honestly, here's my opinion on that real quick. Because Meech, you had sent out something that said you liked most of these hats, right? Because all
Yeah.
the teams are on. And I think I like a lot of the teams. To me, this is a little bit too cartoony for an actual hat that I think a team should wear during baseball activities. That sounds very Grinchy,
Have
but
some
I don't know.
fun.
I think it looks like
Oh no, that's a bad take.
Look, it all
That's a
just
terrible take, Jess.
I don't like it.
Cloud.
You said it's a batting practice hat, right?
Brian.
I think the City Connect jersey should have been an homage to the Philly Fanatic and been like very obnoxious.
What if it was just like his torso? You know what I mean? Just an
even that,
yeah,
like
that could have been cool.
some of those
Shout out
minor
Tom
league
Burgoyne.
jerseys that are very creative
The actual
are
Fanatic.
very obnoxious, but they
Good
do
dude.
their job.
Iron Pigs Mummers.
You
one?
could tell by how quick this cap sold out how popular it is, but I think it's a good play on the Fanatic. You gotta tip your cap. It's the best mascot ever in sports. So,
Yeah, tip your cap, pun intended. Okay.
zoop, and then I'll replace it.
All right.
with-
But as we look forward, you get excited. This is what happens every year, right? You're like, oh, pitchers and catchers, everyone's all excited. And then you realize how long spring training drags on for, and you start seeing the split squad games and meaningless stuff, and you're like, okay, I'm ready for actual baseball. But I wanted to ask you guys a question because Phil's didn't do anything major.
Yeah,
Some people are
let's-
speculating. Hold on. Some people are speculating that they'll go out and do something big around the trade deadline. And the question I have is just, and we've heard him talk, Middleton told him to go get the effing trophy back or whatever.
Said that every year.
But
for the
isn't it
last-
from 08? Like, it's a long time. I don't think you can ask to have it back. You haven't had it.
Right.
Just go get it. And they're talking a lot about how they're motivated by the fact that they've come close past couple of years, whatever. Question I have, though, is just these past couple of years, but in both years, it wasn't a given based on the way they played throughout the season that they were going to contend. It kind of evolved. And this year, I feel like we're treating it like they're bona fide and it's a given. But you've seen that, like, the Dodgers do insane things. Atlanta's gotten better. Like, how many times can we expect to, I don't say narrowly get in the playoffs, but not be, one of the top teams and then go beat Atlanta,
Right.
Without home field advantage.
Atlanta's gonna be so good
I'm
for
just
so
a little
long.
worried that we're just assuming that we're going to contend again and we're going to be right there. And we're going to have our hearts even more broken by the fact that we swung and missed 2 times in a row in tragic seasons. And then we didn't even get another chance. Damn it. That sounds terrible. Meech, talk me off the sledge.
It's a fair judgment. It's a fair way to think, but you talk about the excruciatingly long spring training with the split season, split team games, but the regular season is even more excruciatingly long. So It's a crapshoot. We didn't have Bryce Harper for almost the first half of the. What are you doing? Great, right?
I'm mocking this makeshift arrangement.
Well,
PJ, I blame you for this box on the screen, by the way. I don't know where you went. Yeah.
We fixed it.
anyway,
good.
No,
you can't really expect anything. Like Bryce Harper missed the first half of last year. Now he'll be here for the first half. So maybe we'll start off scorching hot. Who knows? The best part about baseball is nobody knows what's going to happen at the start of the year. Everybody has their hopes up, and you just let the chips fall where they may. And at the end of the year, the cream rises to the top, and you get to play a hot team in a 7-game or a 5-game series and beat them. That's how baseball is.
Here's what I think the whole season kind of comes down to. This is going to sound so stupid. Taijuan Walker. Now, hear me out. The guy.
That does sound really stupid.
I'm just saying.
We heard you out.
The Phillies depth at pitching. They didn't do anything, right? You're bringing back, obviously, Wheeler. You signed Nola.
Use him in the playoffs.
I know,
so.
but that's my point. That's my point. At first half of the season last year, he looked like one of the best pitchers on the team. That's a fact. Okay? Now, we're going to need him to actually be there so that we have the depth we need at the end of the season. I don't think we're going to be able to keep going back year after year and relying on just Wheeler.
We're worrying about a fifth starter.
Here's
now.
another
fifth starter.
Fourth, maybe?
Here's another thing that bothered me this week.
Don't say innings.
Did you see
Taijuan.
John Middleton reiterated for like the fourth time that he bid more on Yamamoto than any other team, including the Dodgers, who bid $325 million. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did see that.
So if that's the case, where did this $325 million go? Just back in his pocket? And he'll go, I'll sit on this for another couple. I'll just put this back in here. I won't spend any of it. I'll just put it back in my pocket. Like if you go to a mall and you're like, I'm going to spend $325 million on a suit, and you go there and the $325 million suit was purchased by a guy 10 minutes before you, you're just going to walk out of there with nothing and be like, I don't need a suit.
No, you wait
I'm
until
cool.
the suit exchange deadline, and then you use that $325 million.
But what if by the suit exchange deadline, the fair you're going to was already canceled and you're not invited anymore because your suit sucks?
But you have Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Christopher Sanchez. Like that's a pretty good rotation.
Let them wear a suit.
Yo, Woolie's in the chat, and he's saying that the crooked logo. He must have been following you with that whole crooked thing. Meech was worried that the hat on his logo was crooked on his hat, but that's how the team.
No, it is crooked.
I know, but the team did it that way. Everyone corrected.
I'm cool with it.
Everyone corrected.
It looks good, Meech. It looks good.
I kind of wear my hat. I'm cool. It just offsets my crooked head.
Shout out to Grim too. I want to know what the nickname is. Is it Grim or is it Grim?
Grim.
What's the best way to say that, man? I gotta figure that out.
Grim. Fellas,
Grim Cube,
dope art,
Sixer.
but it's some of it is a little bit, it's
beautiful.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo,
Prove it.
It's crazy for real. But I appreciate
Crazy beautiful.
he's
I'm
always
waiting
supporting.
for the Grim City Pigeons collaboration T-shirt.
Yo, let's do that. Grim.
fellas, I gotta go. Good
dude.
luck with the rest of the show. All right. I want to hear Misha's top 5 MCs, and if I'm gonna say this right now, if Kendrick Lamar's not in there, it's invalid. I don't care if he's new or not.
Kendrick Lamar isn't in my top 100. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, you stink. I'm out. I'm out.
Turn the camera so it faces your gate.
No, he's gone.
And mute it.
We lost him. I want to get his post-game press conference too.
I actually can't before we get into it. I cannot stand Kendrick Lamar's voice. I just don't like it. I don't.
Wow.
It has nothing. It does nothing for me.
That just reminded me because I always forget about the things that I said we were going to talk about. Not that anyone gives a shit, but I said we were going to get.
You promised.
We were going to get your top 5 rappers, so we are going to do that. But
I went so far as to do top 10 rappers and top 10 groups.
Didn't ask for that.
But
Didn't ask
I'm
for that.
going
It's too
for
much
it.
detail.
No,
It's too much
I'm
detail.
going for it.
Okay.
I can't consolidate.
All right. Here's something that I wanted to discuss with you guys because we didn't have an episode last week because Wednesday was Valentine's Day, and even though we said we were going to do every Wednesday, that
I
wasn't
took
gonna...
my baby to Sam's Club on Valentine's
Oh
Day.
man, that's cute. Yeah. Well, we decided that wasn't going to work, so we did miss some of the Super Bowl reaction. And interestingly, everybody knows at this point that our boy Jason Kelce stole the spotlight, from the Super Bowl.
He won that weekend.
with all. I mean, really starting with his antics at the Bills game, all the way through the Super Bowl. Everyone's talking about no one's had as much fun as Jason Kelce. And
he's winning.
There's been a lot of conversations about whether Jason Kelce was going to come back. And I'm not even here to talk about that, to be honest with you. It'd be great for him to come back. But if he feels like he doesn't want to do that again because it's taxing and the team's looking like it might be an absolute dumpster fire, that's up to him. What I'm here to talk about is I felt something when that was going on that I couldn't believe that I felt. And I see this with my kids all the time. You know how like with the kids, it's like they got all of a sudden they're like just really vibing with one kid. They're like, that's their best buddy, and then they go into school or whatever. And that kid is like starting to become friends with another kid. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, oh no, I can't lose my best friend. And then everybody's taking sides and all that. I started to have that feeling about Jason Kelce. Watching everybody nationally talking about how great Jason Kelce is and him having all this fun. And I started to think, man, he was so in our zone. Like he was ours, man.
Still is.
I know he still is, but like all my friends that aren't from Philly, I can always Jason Kelce is, but now it's like, he's like, I don't want to say he's bigger than Philly, but like the truth is, man, like that has gotten crazy.
Man.
And I'm actually like, I do not want to share Jason Kelce and all that he is with the rest of the world. I want exclusive rights for Philadelphia to enjoy the person and athlete that he's been. Is that fair?
It's totally unfair and unreasonable. But I'll tell you what, you really don't have anything to worry about. I don't know if you saw, I think it was today, he ran an autism 5K in Seattle.
No, it was this weekend.
Was it this weekend?
Yeah.
Like he's into the community.
Yeah.
I think.
He was dancing next to Marshmello. And actually, I don't even really know. I know that like Marshmello is like a thing, a DJ or something.
But what grounds him more than anything is his wife. If you noticed, she didn't wear any Chiefs gear to the Super Bowl.
She's a real one.
She doesn't wear she's a Philadelphia through and through. And even if listen, at this point, I'm almost expecting. I know it won't happen. I know the Chiefs have a young, good center on their team, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kelce was like, let me go play with my brother in KC.
See, I don't think he would do that.
Saying that.
I don't think he would do that. I really don't.
It doesn't matter what I say. Like it would be a cool end to both of their careers. Well, to his career with his brother. They're like very close. They have a podcast together. It wouldn't surprise me. It
would be great content.
And at this point, I don't even give a shit, especially with all the drama coming out of the Eagles nowadays.
I'm with Meech here. I got Jason Kelce fatigue.
Yeah, this is going downhill. Not just Kelce, the whole Eagles franchise.
They let us down. They let us down.
You got Eagles fatigue or Kelce fatigue?
Kelce fatigue.
What, you just think it's too much?
He's everywhere. He's doing too much. I just
even if I thought that, I wouldn't say it.
TV on every clip.
But it's deservedly so. They have a cool podcast. It's fun to listen to. Yeah. They're personable. They're good dudes. Old. Like I get it. I mean,
it's not.
I'd rather him be popular than Chris fucking Sims. You know what I mean?
He's a fat white guy with personality.
Oh no,
I know a couple of those too. We can go hang out.
Nah,
you know what? You've crossed the line.
Yeah, you're being like a hater.
I'm being a real one.
No, you're being
you're not being a real one. You're not.
Yeah, as you're sitting here, it's like he's leaving.
He's more than that. I'm not saying he's leaving us. I'm just saying now everybody feels like he's kind of theirs, and I just think he's ours. Okay, and just get it straight. He's drinking in Seattle. He's staying in Philadelphia. That's okay. So then I thought about a related thing. What about this? If he was willing to do it, would you be down to have Jason Kelce be the coach of the Eagles?
Who wouldn't?
No.
Of course you wouldn't. That would lead to extra fatigue. Yep. I mean, think about it.
I think I'd rather him take over for Eagles on the radio or something, or like be an Eagles media guy. I don't think I'd want him to be an Eagles coach.
He's been grooming for media. That's where he's
but okay, you guys saw the documentary, right? Yeah. And he's like, he clearly needs.
Yeah, me neither. I could care less.
Serious?
Who cares?
What do you mean? To the premiere?
What do you mean? Who cares? What the hell's wrong with you?
If I was invited to the premiere, I'd watch the documentary.
All right.
I've been meaning to watch it with my wife, but we always, every time we watch something, it ends up being an episode of Dateline or 2020.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay?
All right. Well, look, in the documentary, it becomes quite evident that the high that you get from playing in a football game is something that he doesn't really know how he's going to replace when he stops playing football. And I got a feeling, like you watch like Dan Campbell, right? Former player. He looks like he's getting pretty high coaching football. He goes back on the field. He can lead guys. He can get fired up. I could see him really liking that, and I could see him being really good at it.
Where you get into flying airplanes like Roy Halladay.
All right.
Jeez, Meech.
That's
It's
like
not.
$75 fine.
That's not what he
Yo,
wants to
you
do.
don't think he did that shit to feel the high of pitching in a baseball game? He did.
All right. Well,
I flew a plane once at Northeast Airport.
Not 3 inches above the ocean.
yeah, you got to be real careful. All right, Meech, I had on my list Rocky B-Ball's All-Star Weekend recap.
I don't want to gloss over Fink saying he flew an airplane. I need to hear more of that.
You flew an airplane?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
How?
Parents, they had like a lessons thing at Northeast Airport.
His parents left for the weekend and left an airplane there.
And if I got honors, I was allowed to get my pilot license. So we
It's
went,
insane.
and when they first let you up, they give you like 10, 15 minutes. You're in control. There's someone there with you and everything, but
I would hope
15
so.
minutes.
yeah, it's fun. Fly around the Northeast.
Did you get your license?
Why didn't you,
I
why don't
did
you have the
honors.
initials? You got to put the
No.
initials next to your name now, like Lieutenant Fink.
I mean, we can make that like a segment. Eric Fink gets his pilot license.
I like
He
it.
made an emergency landing at Steve's Princess Steaks.
All right.
Touchdown right by skate zone.
So while Rock was in front of in the press area, we should have had him do the Rocky B-Ball All-Star Game recap. I saw a decent amount of the activities. My son is super into it.
I can give you an All-Star Game recap from Vecchia Astoria, but I was at my sister's birthday dinner, but I was checking shit on my phone on the way home.
Okay.
Do you want it?
Sure.
You want my All-Star
I was
Game?
going to ask you to do
my
it anyway.
All-Star
so
Weekend
yeah. Yeah, I
recap?
do.
Okay. The Sabrina versus Steph thing was kind of cool.
That was
Yeah,
legit.
when she hit the
That was
first
legit.
5 in a row, I was like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I once she was shooting from the NBA 3-point line,
That's
I
rough.
you give the
Is
edge to
Kenny
Steph
Smith
right
not
there.
a wild man? Did you?
Listen, he doesn't. He's
He
not
wouldn't
from
stop
this.
though.
If you're on Twitter, you think it's a weird thing what he said, but if not, you just brush it off. Who cares? He's an old school. He doesn't know anything. These announcers don't know any better.
What did he say? I missed it.
He just talking about women and shooting from it. It was very sexist what
Right.
he was saying in a.
You knew
grand
somebody
scheme of
was going to
things,
do that.
but he didn't mean it that way. He was just probably drinking a little bit too much.
She was the one that wanted to do it at NBA.
Yeah, which is fine, but she
People had
still shot with
suggested-
the WNBA ball.
Right.
And she
Whatever.
still made as many as the people in the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a nice add to the 3-point
Yeah.
weekend.
With a lot of
The
pressure.
skills challenge
So
was
stupid.
so stupid.
So
Scotty
dumb.
Barnes shooting behind his head. Like people bet actual money on this stuff. So the least you could do is take it serious. That's the problem with this All-Star weekend. Nobody takes anything serious anymore.
But I blame the NBA for that because they designed a stupid competition.
right. Yes.
Design something that actually shows these guys are elite at
Right.
this. That was awful. And you know what they should do? Would be fun. They should take WNBA players. If it's going to be that stupid, take WNBA
Well, they
players.
used to.
Did they used to do that?
Yeah, it was like
Well, that was a good idea. Whoever
when,
came up with that.
I remember there was a Houston team with like Tamika Catchings and Clyde Drexler. You would take a WNBA, an NBA legend, and a current NBA guy from the same
Yeah.
team, and that would create the skill.
You know what's lame is as soon as Caitlin Clark gets in there, they're going to be all over that because everybody pays attention.
It's
You know
not
what I mean?
lame. She should be in
No,
All-Star
she should.
Weekend.
My point
She's
is
a big
they're gonna
draw.
They're going to bring her in because they want the eyeballs that she'll attract.
Dude,
The 3-point contest still brings out the
McClung.
stars. Stars
McClung.
still want to show up and play in a 3-point contest. So that's cool. That was like in the first round,
Yeah.
I think every player got over 20 points in the first round.
I'm with you.
3-point contest never goes stale. Everyone can shoot. The slam dunk contest was so fucking corny.
But here's the
Listen,
thing.
there's 450 guys in the NBA. 2 years in a row, a guy who isn't in the NBA won it. I
played
love
4
Matt McClung.
games.
Yeah, but
I think he's cool as shit.
But he's like an alien with the way
Get
he
an
can jump.
NBA guy to do this.
Can I say this? The NBA guys will do dunks where they bring somebody out and jump over them, but inevitably they'll always like rub them a little, you know? Like when he jumps over people, he jumped over Shaq. He's clearing them. I mean, it's crazy.
Jaylen Brown jumped over a 5'2" influencer who was sitting on a chair. Like, is that hard? Like, you might as well just dunk. What? Like, that makes him 4'3".
But here's the big difference.
And that dude, there's this dude Kai Sinet who I just learned about, and I've never seen him say anything funny. He's like Kevin Hart to me. He doesn't say anything funny. It's just that he's short and he talks in a big voice. He goes like this, and that's funny to him. Like that. Why bring
is this
him
the
out?
guy? Oh, okay.
Kevin Hart catching.
Yeah, he's the guy Jaylen Brown dunked over.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing.
This guy.
He's a streamer. I guess.
Okay. But here's the thing. There's a big difference. You know why no one good wants to do the dunk contest, right?
No,
because it's like almost impossible to do well in it now. Because you have to do something. Yes, it is. You have to do something. There's nothing new to do, right? And if you try something different and new, you might miss it 4 or 5 times and you might look stupid. None of those guys are willing to do that. But the 3-point contest, they know what's the worst that's going to happen. They don't, make as many shots. So I don't think.
Wait, here's a little trivia. City Pigeons trivia, right? 2 guys have scored the worst first round ever, 5 points.
Oh, geez.
Can you name one of them?
Hersey Hawkins.
Give you a hint. He's one of the best basketball players of all time.
Was Jordan in it?
Michael Jordan.
Damn.
5 points in the first round of a 3.
If you say he's one of the best basketball players, you pretty much say Jordan. So I'm not taking too much credit for that. Okay, that's enough on the All-Star game. I mean, we all know the actual game sucks, and they can figure it out.
How would you fix it?
Everyone's talking about it.
Just let it go. No, it's fine.
You know how I'd fix it? If I were Adam Silver, I'd be like, you guys got to play, man. What the hell?
Nobody
What's up with this?
They can't.
All right, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. People keep talking about it.
Anyway, Chili Bets on Saturday night had Dame Lillard and the Pacers to win the Skills Challenge in a parlay that was plus $2,000, and they hit it. They had a 3-ball on that weekend, golf that hit on Friday, and they had a soccer parlay on Saturday morning for plus 1,000 that hit.
Did you bet any of these?
2 of them, I bet.
Look at you. No wonder you're going on this.
And then the day before the All-Star break, it was the last game. It was the Warriors and the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And he put out a halftime bet, and I hit $2,200 on a $25 bet.
Good for you.
Keontae George to get 30 points and Klay Thompson to get 30
I hit
points.
the NASCAR winner thanks to AAV. Put it out there. The guy with the longest odds, so I used the boost on it. 22-1.
Oh yeah.
Hey, congrats, man.
Not sharing how much.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to end with this because I was this is how
You don't want my top rappers?
that's what I'm going to. Damn. So I was at work. I think this was yesterday or the day before. And a colleague of mine out of nowhere asked me for my top 5 rappers, and I was like so caught off guard. And I was like, I need time to think about this, and I didn't really know what the criteria would be. Right? Is it like who's the best lyricist, or who did you like the most, or you got groups, you got individuals. To your point,
It's easy
Meech.
to come up.
But
with
immediately, I thought I actually want to hear you and Rock go toe to toe on this. But
you don't have to leave the city to get somebody shivering in everybody's top 5.
I hear you. So just to I just wanted to get yours alone, and then I can talk about mine, which is probably lame, but I'm with you a little bit, Tom. I think know where we're going, but I'm guessing that might be Meech's number 1. Anyway, Meech, let's hear your top 5 because you've been in this game a long time. I kind of came and went a little bit.
Now, mine are very personal. All right, it's who I listen to influenced me. It's not necessarily who's the best.
Okay, well, that's not the question, but I see that's fine.
No, it is, because to me, these are the best.
Yeah, your top 5.
You could, I could tell you, I could give you a bullshit list.
Emotion matters.
Of like the consensus who I looked off the internet.
Right.
But this is my personal top. I'll give you my top 10 because I couldn't limit it to top 5.
I just don't know the. All right,
I'll get through it really
I
quick.
think 5 is better because that's harder to make that decision than 10.
My top 10 is actually 11. Because I have a tie.
We have an lie. We have
Just
an
give us your
outside
top
looking
20.
in.
I'll give you my top 5. You want my top 5?
Your top 5. Yes.
Number 5 is Slick Rick.
Wow.
He was
Already.
one of the first rappers that I ever started listening to. His style, like I loved his British accent. I loved his storytelling ability. He was just so smooth. The beats were killer. I love Slick Rick. Number 5. Number 4 is Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Ooh.
He was so innovative. He started off with like the P-Funk, George Clinton type shit. He became at like 18 one of the most.
George Clinton.
Yeah, he was his first album. I wish my brother George was here. Was all P-Funk samples. He's Ice Cube's cousin, and he got all the P-Funk samples.
The guy with the crazy color hair.
Yeah,
he rapped.
No, it was all Parliament Funkadelic samples were the beats to his first album, to Del's first album.
Oh,
Del.
did you say Del is the rapper?
Del is the rapper.
Okay, so Del's your 4th.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I got distracted. Del is your 4th.
Del's my number 4.
Okay.
But he was like, No Need for Alarm is one of my favorite albums of all time. Deltron 3030, and then his Gorilla shit. Del is just one of the best to ever do it.
Okay.
Number 4 for me. Number 3 is Cameron. He was so influential in New York hip hop, early 2000s. He was so stylish. He was so cool. One of my favorite rappers ever. Number 2.
By the way, real quick, if you're in the chat, can you throw in, like, just real quick, throw in your top 5 or anybody that's in your top 5? We want to see it right now.
Or just somebody that I left off that you hate that I left off. Number 2 is Jay-Z. Longevity, style. He's just the beats. He's incredible. He's
I know
so
number
good.
1 is.
Number 1 is, I hate to do it because he's also in a group, and I hate to make my favorite rappers, but Black Thought, number 1 of all time. He's the greatest ever, most influential in my life. I listen to more Black Thought versus songs, anything than anything in my life.
Now, we have to agree, though, we are a bit biased being from Philadelphia. Like, there's a chance that if you weren't from Philadelphia, you would still, but you probably wouldn't be your first.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just part of being from
definitely a personal list.
Yeah. See, I had a hard time with the list. That's great. And we got Wooly in here, Jay-Z, Nas, Mos Def, Rakim, Biggie. That makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people are going to have Biggie, Jay-Z in theirs.
Biggie, Rakim, they were in my top 10, but I couldn't divulge that with the masses. Real quick, let me give my top 5 groups. I'll just rattle them off.
Fink's got Will Smith and Macklemore.
But my top 5, my groups, it has to be more than one MC in the group. It can't just be an MC and a DJ. Top 5 groups: Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Tribe, De La, The Roots.
In any order? Is that
no? That's in 5 to 1.
Wow, that's strong. I didn't even think of groups. That's amazing. Oh, but what about? Okay, so I actually put Guru in my top 5, which is probably a bit of a reach, but I like at that 5th spot, I was kind of looking for somebody who was really like unique to me.
I love
Guru. Gangstar could be in the groups for sure.
No,
right?
Because that's one MC and one DJ.
Oh, you need to have
group has to consist of more than one.
I didn't listen to the rules. Yeah. My bad. Wait, I want to highlight a couple things. Fink's top 5 is Big Pun, Will Smith, Jada Kiss, and Macklemore.
Stop.
Now,
Drake. Fink's number 1 is Drake. He listens to him everywhere he goes. In his headphones, he's got them in his ringtones for everybody. If you call Fink, Drake has probably his ringtone for you.
Hotline bling.
Yeah.
PJ says Curtis Blow, Styles P, Q-Tip, Bun B, Dr. Dre. Bro, I don't know. Yo, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. No. I don't. You want to hear mine?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So I started at the top just because it was easier for me to do it that way. I'm trying to remember what I had them. I know I had Jay-Z as number 1, just to me, because his just flawless exection, just always tight in everything he did.
He's the best studio rapper ever.
Yeah, just amazing.
PJ getting props from Wooly. That's not nothing. Wooly's an astute.
There you go.
Gangster.
I put Raekwon in there. Yeah. So I was actually thinking about that because I was thinking about, like, if you pick one person for Wu-Tang, there's a lot of good options in there. So it's kind of hard to do.
If I picked one from Wu-Tang, it would be Old Dirty Bastard. I love that guy. I thought he was so creative, so ahead of the time, so innovative. I loved Old Dirty Bastard, man.
The Jizza, man. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
ODB and Mariah Carey song. Love that.
The second for me, I think I'm trying to remember what I did earlier, but I think I said Biggie, but like I was also doing this on. I started thinking about it from the perspective of like who I thought was a really good lyricist. And like when I listen to their lyrics, they're like a great rapper, Yeah. But then I was thinking like I should probably have Eminem in there, even though I don't.
A great storyteller.
I don't personally like. I'm not a huge Eminem fan.
But don't put him in there.
You can put him in there.
I hate Eminem.
You hate Eminem?
He does the songs like "My Bum" and stuff like that. I just feel like
Right.
some mockery.
I can't remember.
No, see, you gotta put Eminem
Hold on,
up there.
Sergio,
I know,
our,
but I
our
just
boy
don't think I'm
Sergio.
trying to
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good
commercials.
one.
You know who I had in there for sure though? I actually had Snoop Dogg in my top 5, and I know a lot of people are like, "That doesn't make sense to me." And I thought about it.
Here's the thing: Snoop Dogg didn't write half his shit.
All right. Well, look. All I know is this: the
It's-
younger
it's a
generation
no.
just looks
Yeah, I
at
know.
Snoop Dogg as a celebrity, like personality. But
What a career.
when Doggy Style came out, I was like, "That was different, man." I was
You know-
like,
you know,
"Yo,
still-
what
How
is this?"
filthy that video was.
Yeah, like,
You
what is
know,
this right here?
still DRE.
Yeah.
Jay-Z wrote Dre and Snoop's verses in that song.
Well, I got Jay-Z number 1,
There
so
you
it's
go,
all good.
Grim Grim.
It's all
Thank
good.
you. Somebody gives.
I'm trying to remember. Did I have Q-Tip in there?
MF Doom, I love it. Grim.
We gotta get. Yeah, there had to be some kind of doom mad lit like Jade.
And Fink. He's
Well,
got,
then, so
Grim's
but
got
here's my
Fink in his
question.
top
do
five.
you consider, because this was brought up, do you consider putting Kanye in there? Because, like, obviously he's annoying in so many respects. But like,
I loved his old shit.
Yeah,
I did. I
some of his stuff
considered it.
is
but
among the
yeah.
best.
But
of
he's
all
more.
time. When you listen
I'm
to
just
some
so
of his old
sick of
stuff,
him
you
now.
were like, "This is."
I won't even buy my
amazing.
kids his sneakers.
Right.
That's how sick
Yeah.
of him I am. But he's
Yo, Smith and Wesson. Beautiful.
That's a
Love
Wooly.
Outkast.
Wooly
What's
always
Outkast?
been.
see
Yo.
Outkast would be in a normal person's top 5 groups. I'm not a huge Outkast guy. They'd probably be my top
Meech.
20, but
But they're the great stuff they did is so great.
Yeah.
It's transformational. All right, well that's fun. The youngsters are doing a
Also,
lot of,
here's some-
Kendrick.
I just want to give some
Future.
honorable mentions.
Yeah, do
Cool
it.
G Rap was so influential. Big Daddy Kane,
Pick that
uh,
kid, yeah.
The Alcoholics, Far Side, and Beastie Boys.
You know what's interesting to me? Nobody mentioned Tupac. Nobody.
He's awesome. I still listen to Tupac, but he's not
East
one of my
Coast
top
bias.
10 MCs.
Right.
His songs are great.
Also,
There's a
Grim.
difference.
I don't know if you missed it, but we want to do a City Pigeons collab. Yeah, a couple pigeons holding like
He only
wire
listens-
bats and stuff.
He only
They'll
listens
do
to
it better
death
than
metal,
we can
though,
explain.
y'all.
That'd be
Tell
sweet.
Grim Grim we should have a.
Can we
death
do
metal.
like
He
a?
can have a death metal.
Hey, why don't
show
you do
here.
like a shirt where it's like pigeons as Slipknot or something like that? That could be really cool. Do you know what I mean? That's just a thought. Thinking about it.
You think I could get added to the logo?
No, there's only 3. In fact, I just changed. Tom is in, Rock is out. I told you, I never meant
You
for
think they
this.
could change their company to Grim Fink?
Hey, I'm for hire. Let's
The
go.
best ability is availability, baby. I'm in. Rock, you're out.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun being with you guys again. Really. Looking forward to doing
Willie
this again.
Wong recognizes my Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap was if you listen to old Cool G Rap, some of his shit was so homophobic.
Oh God,
And,
they were.
but it's funny because I listened to it as a kid and it didn't influence me. I mean, if you don't want to be influenced by that shit, it'll go over you. But he was a great fucking rapper, but some very homophobic lyrics coming out of Cool G
Well,
Rap.
It's gonna happen, man. Times
It will
change.
happen every once in a while.
I got nothing to say about that.
Common used to say some homophobic shit, and now he's like on regular TV.
Yeah.
A lot
gotta-
of rappers say a lot of
You gotta
homophobic
do it.
shit
You gotta do it.
currently.
I don't know if we want to dive deep into that topic.
I don't.
Anyway, all right. Well,
I don't say any homophobic shit. I love everybody. I love the gays, the Jesse.
And we're out of here. That's enough of the City Pigeons.
think, yo,
What the
legit,
hell?
cue the outro, bro. Listen, good being with you
I love
guys.
everybody.
Good being
sorry.
with you guys. Until next, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the City Pigeons.